the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Bond and AJ Applegarth.
Touchdown! All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me, as usual, AJ Applegarth. What's up, man? Nice green shirt.
Yeah. Guess you got the memo.
Apparently, it's green shirt day.
Yeah. I almost was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wear my black wife beater and gonna, go all Pat McAfee. It works for him, so
Are you gonna stand up during the show too?
No, because then you're just gonna be zoomed in on my crotch.
I mean,
sure. Not everybody
could have adjusted other things, but sure, yeah, whatever, man.
Never mind. I will not stand up, and I'm not wearing my black wife beater. Also, I'm not really a big fan of Pat McAfee, so.
All right.
I mean, he's all right. He's
all
kind
right.
of a douche.
Albert's here. Now we can start the show. What's up, man?
Albert, what's your take on Pat McAfee? Yes or no? All right.
Good times. All right. So tonight we're going to be doing the usual Thursday night show, going over some start-sit questions, a little sneak preview into my rankings, and AJ's thoughts here for the upcoming week. And then kind of our rants, observations, conclusions, whatever you want to call it, from week 3 and the season so far. And before we jump into all that, though, that like button, that subscribe button, leave those comments. We'd love to hear from you. And, of course, jump over to Fantasy Six-Pack, become an all-access member. You're going to get access to our award-winning rankings, our not draft cheat sheet because it's past draft season. And man, that's like 3 weeks old. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm a little flustered because my computer was going haywire on me before the show. But jump out of Fantasy Six-Pack. You're going to get access to the rankings, our Discord. You're going to get access to all the DFS content, the betting content, you name it. It's all there for you. Use promo code F6P NFL 24 for 15% off. Without further ado, let's start things off here. And AJ, I'm throwing a little curveball at you. This wasn't on the sheet until about 5 minutes before the show. We got to talk about this Christian McCaffrey update, man. It's blowing up Twitter. So if you have it, like, he went to Germany, right, to get, a specialist to look at his Achilles. From what I understand, there has been no actual official report from this, but there was something that came out, and it's been sort of, I don't know, like if it was leaked or like assumed, or like people are just trying to like read the tea leaves or something, that he might miss a couple of months. And so I guess this came from Dr. Ketan Bibel, whoever, I don't know. Basically, he said something about his optimistic timeline would be McCaffrey would return in a month, which would mean around week 8. 2-month timeline. And then it just says a 2-month timeline would have him returning around week 12. So now people are saying, oh, now he's missing 2 more months. So it's just like blowing up all over the place. What's your thoughts on this? Like our Discord blew up like immediately after this, news came out. People are like, oh my gosh, should I trade CMC for this? Should I? People, dynasty leagues, people are asking, should I overpay to go get Jordan Mason? I have another person saying, should I trade Jordan Mason now and they could get like a really good receiver back to kind of help their injured receiving core? Like, What are you doing with CMC with this kind of official report out? I mean, sort of.
Yeah, I mean,
Hard
it's
to think.
definitely worrisome. It's been worrisome for everybody who took him as basically the 1-1 in redraft. Super flex leagues, maybe not quite, but still a first round pick. Early first round. San Fran's bye is week 9. So optimistically, if he's out through the bye, I mean, you're still going to have him for 5 weeks, six weeks until playoffs start. So if you were lucky enough to get Jordan Mason, then maybe ride him a little bit, see what happens. He's been kind of up and down, but he's still going to be the guy. This definitely makes me happy that I don't have McCaffrey. But at the same time, for the people that do, I'm not against trading him in Dynasty. I'm not against trading him in redraft, at all. I'm not against trading Jordan Mason either. I think maybe see what happens this weekend with Mason. Going up against New England, not a terrible matchup, but not the best matchup either. I mean, San Fran in general just hasn't looked good, and it's really surprising. But that can be said for a lot of teams. I mean, the game that's on tonight, the Cowboys have not looked good at all this year, and they're still barely winning this game. Mm-hmm. So this is the kind of parity that we see in the NFL all the time. But with McCaffrey, I mean, we've seen him be injured in the past, and it's just tanked teams. So after last year, with as many touches he had and being healthy all season, I wasn't super optimistic on him staying completely healthy again this year. I was starting to turn towards draft season, but I couldn't buy into it. And, I think if you can get a solid wide receiver back for him that is going to help you in these, months that he's going to be out, I'm all for it. I would say go ahead and do it, and let it be somebody else's problem.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. So let me just go through the couple of scenarios that we had here on our Discord here, and so, let's see here. One guy said I got offered Mike Evans for Jordan Mason in a half PPR league. His wide receiver core is just crushed. He's dealing with Puka, Debo out, Tank Dell likely out this week. His other running backs are pretty nice. He's got 2 really good ones, Kamara and Jonathan Taylor. I
would not be afraid to do that then.
Yeah,
Kamara's been awesome.
There's a little bit of the only hesitation I have on it, right, is when Puka, Debo, and Tank Dell come back, okay? Yeah, sure. If you start 3 in a flex, that's awesome. But what happens if Kamara goes down, which he's dealing with an injury this week, right? What happens if JT goes out? You lose a lot of your really good depth there. The other, just to throw a bajillion scenarios out here, right? What if Christian McCaffrey comes back in 5 weeks, 6 weeks, right? Jordan Mason's not going to be very valuable, and so now, so you would want to trade him now at a high value. Yeah. But if Christian McCaffrey doesn't come back, I kind of think I'd rather have Jordan Mason in that scenario, right? It's the guessing game. It's such without a real timeline here. We're stuck. Trying to guess what the best case is.
I mean, that's the perfect 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other scenario, because
you sound like my mom. Don't ever say that again.
Okay, great. Which one do you want? Do you want the Jordan Mason who's healthy now and you're dealing with, a hit to your receiver core, or do you want the stacked receivers? Do you want to try to, in that first one, do you want to just try to push through and play with waivers or whatever to try to get, success and help out of your receivers? Again, we don't really know what Jordan Mason is yet. Is he talented? Yes. Has he shown flashes? Yes. But he had a down week last week against a bad Rams team. So again, this week I think is going to be kind of more of a telltale sign. And then he's got Arizona. They have a decent defense. And Seattle, his uphill from here is not looking that good before the bye. So again, that's why I would kind of lean more towards trading him for his value or more value. And if you can get, I don't know if Evans is really equal value. I think it's solid.
Yeah. Well, so hear this. So he went a little forward and he goes, "What about Rashee Rice for Mason? He's interested in moving either one. He's the C-Mac owner." And I was like, I would 100% take Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice right now is my number 4 receiver the rest of the season.
Yeah, I would do that.
Locked in stud for the rest of the year. The locked in number 1 target for Mahomes.
Yeah,
he had 14 targets last game. Unreal. This guy is, he's taking all the Pacheco shares. He's taken all the Kelsey shares that haven't gone his way so far. There's nobody else that's worth a damn on that receiving core. It's
Juju.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
Look, they got good Juju now. He's not good, but
so it's interesting. I just kind of wanted to. Yeah. I have him very close to that, Jamie. Actually, we have to look. I think I tinkered with it a few times. Just I think I had him up there at one point. My number 1 receiver is, it's Justin Jefferson, but Rice is number 3, so it's right there. And they're all super close. But yeah, it's interesting. I think we had another one coming in here too. What was it? There was a lot of conversation here, so I forget what the other one was. Oh, people were asking about Godwin for CMC. Again, that's kind of like the Evans one. It's super close, but I
love Godwin. I think he has.
It's so hard, man. It's just, I wish we had a definitive answer. Here's my thing. If your team is good enough to get by without Christian McCaffrey right now, and he comes back, let's say week 12, you have Christian McCaffrey on, I guess you could say fresh legs, but he's coming off an injury, so that's always a risk too. But you have a Christian McCaffrey just in your back pocket for the playoffs, possibly, if you can get there. That's money, dude. But you don't know. He could just be total zero this year. There's a lot of people that think he's not even coming back this year. He's just done.
Had an Achilles injury.
I actually tore my Achilles. He hasn't torn it.
No, I know. But is he close to tearing it? We just don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
If he's going to play on this, and I would assume he's going to have the best physicians looking at this injury and getting as much information as he can to make a decision. Even with all of that, if you get a positive, prognosis, something could still happen. And, you get hit wrong or you cut wrong and boom. Now what have you done? You're missing that back pocket, ace. So it's a tough situation to be in. Obviously, all these other injuries that we rattled all through last week, all of those guys for the most part are coming back. And we don't expect them to fall too far off.
Yeah.
This is just a weird issue.
Yeah, it totally is. And I mean, I get the panic from a lot of managers. I mean, I'm in a league where I know for a fact I'm never going to be able to trade him. Like nobody's going to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
I'm in a best ball league with him. I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do. I'm in another league with him where we don't have trades.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Well, Lambert lost the first week of the Scottish Eliminator because he had Christian McCaffrey, and I think
I forgot about that.
He had a couple other people that were his team was just decimated, and he was out week 1. I, on the other hand, scored the most points last week, so I was pretty stoked about that.
That's a best ball league, right? Because I totally forgot about that league.
Oh yeah, it's a best ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. Am I still in it?
Yeah, you're still.
I'm third.
You had the top score 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
I think, or you were.
We drafted this team in like June. I forgot about this league. Good times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, J.K. Dobbins. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, but I have Tyreek Hill. Oh, it's all going downhill. Okay.
Well, I have Tua as my only quarterback.
Ooh. Goodbye.
Oh, wait, no, Taysom. I've got Taysom as quarterback eligible. So yeah, my team is.
Oh no, dude! I have Tyreek and Jalen Waddle.
Oh,
it's brutal.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's move on.
Yes.
Chase, if I bundle London and Waddle, who can I trade for? I have JJ and Amari Brown. It's my other 2 receivers. I'm guessing this is a 2 receiver league, or you would not be looking to package both of these. If you're getting rid of London and Waddle, I mean, I'm guessing you're looking at running back here. I mean, I would be looking for somebody really good in return. Although Waddle does not help that package because obviously his value is at an all-time low right now. I mean, could you go get? Oh, you have you could start 3. So you'd be starting JJ and Amon-Ra, and then, I don't know who your running backs are, but it doesn't really matter. Like, you're just asking who you can get. I don't know. To me, I think I'm looking probably at would you go after like an Aaron Jones type guy? Like, I know you give it up 2 to get 1, but London hasn't crushed it.
No,
go after like a Derrick Henry. It's been good.
Henry's been really good. If the Henry owner is really hurting at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're going to have to go after a team who's desperate at receiver. That's the only way you get out of this.
London's been good. Really.
He's been good. He hasn't
he's got a touchdown the past 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, the yardage isn't quite there, but
like six or so targets.
That's kind of hard because Bijan's so good too.
Yeah. And Mooney's been seeing a lot of work.
Yeah, Mooney's been good. Hell, Ray McLeod's been seeing decent action.
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting. I think like a Derrick Henry upgrade could be good. I'm guessing you're hurting at running back, which is why you're trying to do this.
Yeah.
But that would be kind of the range I'd be looking at. You'd have to get something like that. Sadly, Waddle's not much of a piece right now. People aren't super interested in it. So you're basically going London.
I mean, if you have
plus, then
if you have somebody different to pair with London instead of Waddle, I mean, I get it. I wouldn't get rid of one of the other 2 though. So,
maybe London and one of your lesser running backs to go get
maybe like an Etienne.
Kamara. I don't want Etienne. I don't want Etienne right now. I don't want anything to do with that Miami offense, to be honest with you. But
what about a Kyren Williams?
No, nah. Kyren Williams has been good just based off pure volume. It hasn't been great.
I mean,
and that
Montgomery
offense is
could
going
be
to
interesting
suffer.
too.
Yeah.
I mean,
worry, man. Game flow here with them. Like any given
Yeah.
week, man, they could just give the ball to Gibbs like a bajillion times. Etienne, Connor, Ramondre. Is Jamar out of reach? Probably, especially after that game against Washington. Everybody's gonna go. He's back. You can try. I mean, hey, I've seen crazier things happen. If you think you can upgrade London and Waddle to get Jamar, sure, try it. I mean,
I don't hate it.
It's,
I mean,
I would decline it, but you know, it is what it is. But
maybe.
All right. Well, we got to jump into the start sit questions. If you all have not heard over on Fantasy Pros, I've been top 10 the last 2 weeks. I'm now up to number 3 on the season. By far my best start of any season, by the way. I'm usually like a slow starter. I'm usually down in like the 20s right now. Just kind of feeling out the season. So this is a good start. Feeling good. So
all right. Well,
let's rock and roll.
Let's feel how I can't wait to get to the wide receiver one because there was one that I just had to put on here for you, Joe. But you're going to start us off with our quarterbacks, and we get a spicy one. Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, actually, sorry, because my computer restarted, I completely forgot to do the slide, to get the slides back up. So give me a half second. But
no problem. I mean, I'll let AJ go first then. AJ, you get to choose between Patrick Mahomes and the Chargers or Baker Mayfield against your Eagles.
I mean, I'm still going Mahomes on that one. He's been really disappointing. But I just don't believe in the Chargers that much. I know they've kind of, I guess, played above bar with the offense being what it was, but you know, we don't know what's going on with Herbert. If he's out again, you know, I think that Mahomes can finally have a game where he actually shows up and does what he needs to do. Maybe actually get freaking Kelsey involved in this one.
You want to talk about not showing up? He only has one top 10 performance in his past 12 games.
Mahomes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I believe it. But I still think, you know, Philly, you know, Tampa had a really down game last week. I just think that they were knocked off of their usual, you know, high pedestal. So this game could be interesting for them, but Philly defense finally showed up against, you know, the unstoppable Derek Carr, who blew the world apart for 2 weeks. And you know, Baker's done a lot of the same, but I'm going Mahomes on this one.
Yeah, clean sweep here. I'm going Mahomes as well. You know, I know Baker's been, you know, he's had 2 really good games, 1 pretty bad game. And I don't love the matchup for Mahomes. I do think the Chiefs can actually, like, you know, they might get out to like a couple touchdown lead, then just kind of do what the Chiefs do, which seems to be lately is just take their foot off the pedal and not really like push it. I don't really understand why they seem to be doing this. The Chargers, by the way, have allowed the least number of points to quarterbacks on the season so far. So
really,
damn good. But yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, you know, has thrown just the 15th most passes on the season out of all the quarterbacks. You know, super efficient. You know, him and Rishi Rice are looking good. I don't know, man. Just they seem content on utilizing that ground game, even though Pacheco's not there. I mean, they still ran with Carson Steele, I believe, 17 times, and then
Steele got some action.
Yeah, Steele got the ball 17 times, and I want to say P. Ryan, I think, ran the ball 6 times.
And they just elevated Kareem Hunt this week.
They did elevate Kareem Hunt, so he'll probably be in the mix. Like, they're not going to elevate him for nothing because you can only elevate a guy 3 times before you have to like officially, lock him in. So they're going to use him. So yeah, it's Mahomes for me, but I don't love either option this week, to be honest with you.
Well, and just to add one more thing to retort your comment about the Chiefs allowing the fewest points, the quarterbacks they faced have been
Chargers.
Minshew Mania. Chargers. Minshew Mania, a benched Bryce Young, and Justin Fields. Had the best game. Or sorry, his team.
I get it. The competition wasn't great,
but he was the worst one. So
the competition has not been great, but they still allowed basically nothing to the quarterbacks
minimal points. I'll give you that.
Got to give them a little bit of credit. These guys are still pros.
It's a little,
but yeah, I feel you. Next up.
All right. I mean, I just wanted to shine some light on how Mahomes is almost a streaming quarterback at this point.
Yeah.
So, Joe, on to the next. You want Brock Purdy against the Patriots or Jared Goff versus the Seahawks? Fight.
Can I have what's behind door number 3?
It's Patrick Mahomes. I'm just kidding.
Pat Mahomes
and
I'm going Purdy. Look, I mean, he's obviously got some crazy good connection between with him and Jennings. That was crazy good last week. It looks like we'll be getting Kittle back, I believe. So that's good news. And look, we were talking about Jordan Mason earlier because of the Christian McCaffrey stuff. Jordan Mason's been good, but he's not Christian McCaffrey, right? And so they're gonna have to lean on this pass game a little bit more than they would have, even in games that they should win pretty handily, to stay on the field, right? They can't just lean on this run game because Christian McCaffrey's just a beast. There's no Debo to help with the run game either. So I think this is going to be a Purdy game. And honestly, like, Seattle has been pretty solid against the pass too. Like, we're talking, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th against quarterbacks. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And New England's like middle of the road. So
yeah, they're right there. I was just gonna say they're like right in the middle. Yeah, I'm leaning Purdy on this one too. I just think this is going to be another game for him to kind of get back to it. He had a really nice game last week, with the 3 touchdowns, obviously. But he had 10 rushes too. Like, he was running the ball, which is not really a Brock Purdy thing. You didn't draft him thinking, oh, I'm getting this sweet running quarterback at the end of the end of the run here. No, I don't know if I see that again, but if it happens, okay, I'll be on board with it. I just like this matchup better. Seattle's defense has been very solid this year, so I'm staying away from Goff.
Aw, man. All right.
All right, we got a couple questions before we jump into the running backs here. And speaking of running backs, we've got, where did I go? From Albert here, Zach Moss or Chuba Hubbard. They're both getting a lot of work, both not super efficient with the ball. Hubbard had a much better game last week. I'm personally going Zach Moss, but we're talking my 38 and 40 ranked running back. Or
is that PPR or half PPR?
This is PPR. This is my 38th and 40th flex play. So, they're kind of right there. They're back to back as far as running backs. So, Coin flip, man. I'm sorry. It's, but I lean Moss. That's what my rankings say.
I think I'm leaning Moss as well. I think he's going to be, Chuba had a really nice game last week, but still, it's only one game with Dalton. I want to see him do it again before I can really, really trust him to be starting. And again, I'm assuming this is a flex spot.
With all the injuries out there?
Well, yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe not be. I've had some pretty rough options myself. So, but yeah, I like Moss. Sticking with that.
Yep. And then one more here from Fair Chris. What do you think of trading Gibbs and Shaheed for Etienne and Tank Dell? I don't do it. Not with the Miami offense reeling without Tua. Shaheed's been good, boom bust type of guy, but so's Tank Dell at this point, and Tank Dell's dealing with an injury. So, no, thank you. I'm keeping Gibbs and Shaheed.
There's a lot of Shaheed hate going around. I feel like after that goose egg last week, and I get it.
That's what you're gonna get from him. But I mean, it's not like Tank Dell. Tank Dell hasn't been that great either. He's third fiddle in this offense. And this was the fear with Tank Dell. Fourth
fiddle behind Mixon, too.
Well, yeah, true.
But when he's healthy. But
Tank Dell's not healthy either. He's probably not playing this week.
Yeah. No, I don't do it. I think Gibbs has too much upside. Achane's got awesome upside when Miami is clicking, and they sure as shit are not clicking right now. So I'm holding Gibbs and Shaheed.
Absolutely. All right. Running backs.
AJ, you get Jordan Mason versus the Patriots or Kyren Williams at Chicago against the Bears? Fight.
Man. Oof.
How are you going to sit a guy that just scored 3 touchdowns? Tell me how you're going to do that.
Kyren's been reliable. I mean, the first 2 games were a little down, for where you drafted him, obviously, but he came up big against what's supposed to be a pretty tough San Fran defense. This game is in Chicago, so maybe that adds to it, but I'm still going with Kyren. I think he's going to be the better option. I mean, he's really the only option. Tutu Atwell had some nice action, I guess, this past week, but that game plan was all about Williams. I don't see why they would change that this week. So I'm going to stick with Williams.
So for me, it's going to be Jordan Mason. The real answer is, I mean, you're probably starting both of these guys. Mike, I know what you did with this question. Jordan Mason was a guy you picked up off waivers before this, if you drafted early or you drafted him super late as CMC's handcuff. I get what you were doing with the question, but at this point, you're starting both these guys. Like, they're both locked in your lineup, right? They're number 2, number 3, and number 5 in my half PPR rankings this week. Like, there's no way you're not starting both of these guys. But if I had to pick one, like if you're in like a 1 running back league or something, right? You're starting Jordan Mason. You do expect the 49ers to kind of take this game pretty easily. And so, as much as I just, touted Brock Purdy, being able to pass the ball, and they're going to lean on this passing game a little bit more. The run game is still the staple of the 49ers offense. And so, especially once they get the lead, they're just going to run downhill on you. If Kittle's back, the blocking is going to be back as well. The receivers all know how to block very, very well. So even without Debo, they're going to be able to just crush you in the run game once they get that lead. And, that multiple score lead nonetheless. And that's what we expect. So it's Mason for me. Look, Kyren was awesome, with the touchdowns last week, but he was not actually very good overall. I want to say he had like a less than 2 yard per
3.7
carry or something crazy like that. Like it was
3.71 yards per carry. 89 yards on 24 attempts.
What I read something. I don't know where it was. I read something weird.
It
It was
was
something
yards per catch, or well, he only had 13.5, but
I don't know. I read
only
something
two
crazy
targets.
that was like horribly like inefficient, but no, that's actually wrong. I don't know what I was reading then. Yeah, I mean, I'll still go Mason. They're both
Yeah,
fine.
they're both. It's tough to pick, but yeah, I mean the Bears are the better matchup, so that's what I'm going on.
All right. So, on to the next one, Joe. You got Zach Moss at Carolina versus Panthers or Travis Etienne Jr. I don't know why I said the junior part. At Houston against the Texans. Fight!
I only didn't put it in there because it doesn't really fit in the slide. So, man, I don't think I ever thought I'd be saying this before the season. Moss. No, this Jaguars offense is something I want not a lot of part of right now. Like it's bad and almost moving in the wrong direction still. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. AJ, like your old head coach, man, he pulled this crap in Philly, man. He like worked his magic and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
just kidding. I actually suck as a head coach. Like, what happens to this guy, man?
Well, let's not be crazy. He has a Super Bowl, okay, so he doesn't completely suck as a head coach. But something is off with Dougie P. I don't know if the visor's on too tight and it's not getting enough oxygen to his head, but this offense is goddamn atrocious to watch. And I mean, Lawrence is not even startable at this point. I
No,
am not starting
absolutely
him
not.
in Scott
People
Fish.
have been asking me, like my own daughter drafted Trevor Lawrence.
Didn't we have somebody in the Discord drop Trevor Lawrence for Andy Dalton?
Yes.
Doesn't
So
surprise me.
I don't think I'm going that far,
Smart move.
but like she asked me the same question. She's like, should I drop Trevor Lawrence for like Geno Smith? And I was like, at this point, why not?
Absolutely.
I think I had people dropping him for Sam Darnold. I'm like, yeah, like why not? Like Trevor Lawrence looks
Justin
awful.
Fields.
Yes. Yes.
Only because I don't know how long Justin Fields is really like. I know they're winning, but like, how long can they keep winning like this? Like, come on.
I mean,
It
their
feels like
defense
fool's
is
gold.
legit per usual.
So you take Lawrence over Fields in that situation?
I don't like any of it. Can I not? I don't want any part of that. I don't want either one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing is like this offensive line for Jacksonville is just bad. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is getting pressured more than any quarterback in the league right now. It's like crazy number of pressures, number of blitzes. It's just it's bad. It's almost like he's a rookie again, and he's just running for his life. He's playing for like a crap team. Like, but this isn't. This was supposed to be a really competitive team, like a playoff contending team, and they look nothing like that. So it's shocking. So yeah, I'm going with Zach Moss just because this Jags offense just looks abysmal.
Yeah, I was watching the game Monday, and I saw that Lawrence was already out. I'm like, oh great, this game's already out of hand. They pulled him. Etienne. I needed like one more catch and maybe a little bit of yards to take the win. I think it was crab cake. and I got it. I was like, oh, he's still in. He caught the ball. Oh my god! I think I just beat. I think it was Mendy, but I was pretty. I was pretty.
There you go. Jamie just did the Larger Fields swap.
See?
I mean, I get it,
but yeah, I mean, this Houston defense is a much tougher matchup. Again, for Etienne, it's a division game. I think it's going to be like hopefully closer, but I don't think it will be. I just don't think it will be. They have no offense, and unless CJ Beathard is going to be the next coming of, I don't know, Malik Willis from last week. Like, I don't even know. I don't know where to even go with this offense. And, they're just going to key up on Etienne. Plus, Ingram is still questionable. So he's not
very, very unlikely to play.
Of course, the week I freaking benched Christian Kirk and needed him, he finally shows up. I'm like,
only because they had to pass the ball 300 times.
What the hell is this? So,
but it still wasn't good.
No, it wasn't. But that was the lone league I lost last week. I went almost undefeated in all of my leagues last week, and I think it was Dynasty 6-pack. I think I lost to freaking Dave. Damn you, Dave.
Yep. Zach Moss. Can't believe I'm saying that, but it is Zach Moss. And I don't even really like Zach Moss. But there we go.
I don't feel
so. Good. Normally, this is where I'd go to AJ for the next question, but I specifically put this first wide receiver question on here for you, Joe. And it's because I saw Davante Adams ranked lower than Diontae Johnson, who you got the wrong colors for. He's no longer a Steeler. He's a Panther.
Again.
You could do these.
Me?
Anybody. I'm doing them 5 minutes before the show.
I'm just a voice in the sky. I got no hands.
Okay.
I don't think I have access to these.
You do.
But
I don't remember the access code.
Yeah.
Joe, you get Mike Evans versus the Eagles, Davante Adams versus the Browns,
we're gonna live do this one
versus the Bengals.
Oh, what the dick! I beat Dave Eddy. Ha! Suck it, Dave.
What the dick?
I swear there was a game I lost. Oh, it was Tomlin. No, that's this week. Hold on. Fuck. Did I go undefeated? I don't think I did.
Right now.
Anyway.
I'm fixing this.
Oh, no, it was crab cake. I lost crab cake. Oh, I got demolished in crab cake. Damn you, Bruni.
Oh yeah, he had a really good week. Yeah, good luck with that. So we're halfway there. Now he looks like he's on the Chargers. Now we're back. Okay. So it is, and it's also not spelled right, I'm pretty sure. So
it's spelled right.
No, that's right.
You got it right.
Okay.
Just not the colors. Let's see if you get the right answer, though.
We're on the right answer. It's always the right answer. So I have Diontae Johnson as the highest out of the group. And then it is Mr. Mike Evans. I'm sitting Davante Adams. Raiders' offense is not good. His volume doesn't matter anymore. Like, they're already talking about switching quarterbacks again. It's just not great. And then, yes, Albert, you're right. He did pop up on the injury report. Davante Adams did with a hamstring injury. So that's not helping his cause at all. It's really, really hard to like the Raiders offense. I mean, look, we all like Zamir White's getting all the rushing attempts, right? He's the rushing attempt guy. But then they get inside the 5 yard line. They're like, oh, here, Alexander Madison, have the ball. I'm like, what? It's so crazy.
I dropped Zamir White.
Yeah, so did Richard in our fantasy 6-pack league. It's I saw that happen and I went, oh, I gotta go put a bid in for him. And then I looked again and I was like, Nah, actually, no, I don't. I was like, I'm good. It's rough. It's rough out there, man. Like we're dropping these guys who like we're all our big.
He was a keeper for me this year.
Dude,
I dropped him.
It's brutal. I'm trying to think. So remind me again who. So Mike, the Bucks are playing who again?
Eagles.
Really?
I mean, that's a pretty nice matchup. Their secondary is not very good, although they came to show. They showed up last weekend. But still not great, but they still they played better. Raiders play who?
Raiders play Cleveland.
Oof. That's a tough one. And then Carolina. Who do they get? I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Cincinnati, it literally is on the banner scrolling across the bottom.
I'm not watching the screen. Why don't
I wasn't either, but that's pretty good.
I'm not watching the screen. I got all his stats up in front.
Apparently, you guys need it.
I don't need it. I got a big enough monitor that I can multi-tab.
But yeah, I mean it's still Diontae and Mike Evans. It's. I mean, again, Davante's got easily the hardest matchup out of the three. So yeah, I mean that kind of sells it right there too. So yeah.
Well, the other, Mike Evans is also questionable. He popped up yesterday, but he was limited again today with a knee issue. Because I just updated the depth charts again this morning. Just tweaking a few things, and I saw him on there. I was like, wait a minute, he wasn't on there. Godwin was questionable too. I'm sure that both of them are going to play, though. They're not considered serious injuries, so I would keep Evans in. And yeah, I loved what Diontae did with the flaming red rocket last week, and you got Thielen hitting the IR. So
thanks for backing me up on that one.
I don't know. Andy Dalton he knows how to sling it.
Moving on.
The next Messiah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's
Move
go.
on. We're not going to keep going with the innuendo.
All right, AJ, you can just start us off with our next one. You got Jaxon Smith-Njigba against the Lions, the waiver wire darling Jauan Jennings versus the Patriots, or Khalil Shakir at Baltimore against the Ravens. Fight.
Wow. Shakir has been the go-to for Josh Allen. Jauan Jennings, yeah, Debo is likely out again.
Greatest receiver for the 49ers since Jerry Rice after that game? Or am I over-exaggerating?
That might be a stretch. T.O. did play on that team. So,
you think Jerry asked for his autograph after the game?
No. I doubt it.
You.
Man, I don't really like either one of them. Matchup. I don't love the matchup for JSN, but I think I'm leaning him too. Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I think I'm going to lean him over Jennings. I don't know if I can trust Jennings.
So you're going JSN?
I'm going JSN and Shakir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going JSN and Jennings. I wanna get back into that Jennings and Purdy action there. And then it's JSN. JSN for me. Detroit's defense has not looked good, honestly. Like they've been beaten up. I believe they are. If I'm looking at this, is half PPR, but they are third worst against receivers. Philly and Washington are the only two worst teams, so not good. Shockingly, do you know who number 4 is?
Oh,
worst.
The worst is Arizona.
Against
Washington.
This is half PPR. I said that. It's Philly and Washington. So who's fourth worst?
Oof. Rams?
49ers.
Huh.
Yeah. Rams are 6th. So you're close. But Jennings also gets New England. They're like they're 7th worst. Baltimore's still Baltimore. They're top against receivers. I like Shakir, and I like the fact that he's
been good though this year.
What?
Baltimore has not been good against receivers this year.
According to our numbers.
PPR, they gave up 10 receptions for 170 yards and a touch to KC, 15 receptions, 152 and a touch for Vegas, and 13 for 200 against Dallas and 2 touchdowns. Not good.
Our numbers say different for some reason, but
I'm looking at a different league. I don't know, but either way, I agree that in theory their defense should be better. But
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at half PPR, so yeah, PPR Baltimore isn't the best, but still it's JSN and Jennings for me. I just stay away from this Baltimore defense if I can. They're still really good.
We'll find out.
All right.
Better than allowing 41 PPR points like Philly and 50 like Washington has and stuff like that. Like they're still at least in like 19 range. That's still
again, Philly shut down the almighty Rashid Shaheed. Okay. Enough said.
They still allowed 41 points to receivers last week somehow.
In PPR,
Olave had a day.
In PPR, they only allowed 24. I don't understand this freaking. Whatever I'm looking at is not very good. Well, TSPN. That makes sense.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Anyway.
All right. So, last one here for you, Joe. You get Terry McLaurin. Oh, man. Against Arizona. T. Higgins.
I don't think I switched my slide, so you still got Tank Bell in here.
That's fine. Terry McLaurin against the Cardinals. T. Higgins against the Panthers. Or Amari Cooper versus the Raiders.
Why is Amari Cooper a Steeler?
That's a good question.
Because I forgot to switch I just botched. Botched all of these receivers.
These are garbage.
These suck. Sorry.
Just take the slide down. I don't even want to look at it anymore.
Oh my goodness.
T. Higgins is like I don't even know.
That reminds me of when a person in our home league drafted Dallas Goedert and Dylan Clemens goes, "No, that's ugly. Take it off. Erase it. Take it back right now."
Yeah, not after last week. Speaking of being gone for 2 weeks and then showing
trivia
up.
Question. Can you name the tight ends that have scored 8 fantasy points, at least 8 fantasy points through 3 weeks so far?
Like 8 at least every week?
For 3 weeks so far.
No.
It's because there is none. There hasn't been one.
I was going to say,
it feels like no. And I was gonna get to that. Who's this? We're doing Terry McLaurin. I can at least.
Yeah.
Yes, Scary Terry. And it's Commander's colors. You should know those colors.
I should be good there.
I don't understand the T. Higgins red either. That kind of.
That's what I don't know. That's what I got from the thing.
It looks
the same color as Baker and them.
Don't worry about it. Answer the question.
I don't want to answer the question. Now you guys are just pissing me off.
AJ, answer the question. Terry McLaurin versus the Cardinals. T. Higgins versus
you guys.
Amari Cooper versus the Raiders. Our own host and co-founder is going rogue.
I mean,
I don't want to play. It's been a day,
okay.
guys. I'm sorry.
Amari is not on the injury report. I was just going to say he was earlier this week, but I guess he came off today.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened here. I think I forgot to update the colors on this one completely.
Albert said Bowers is the only tight end to have at least 7 a game.
Yeah,
That's something.
There you go. The rookie tight end rage is real. I'm going to go McLaurin. I feel like,
You're going to sit McLaurin?
No, I'm going to start McLaurin. I feel like, Jaden Daniels is getting more comfortable with him. Now he's finally going to, keep building that comfort and target him some more, especially after Monday night's awesome freaking last minute or whatever touchdown.
Dude, that one meat Scott Fish this week.
That was
like, holy
awesome,
crap.
Awesome catch.
Dude, he got crushed when he threw that ball, too.
Yeah. I kind of
unbelievable.
I'm leaning Amari on this one, and sitting Higgins. I mean, Cooper was absolute trash the first 2 weeks, but he showed up last week, granted against the Giants. But he's got another matchup this week against an inferior team in Vegas, and it's the old revenge game. So I think he wants to show out.
At this point, is this a revenge game?
No.
Two teams ago, man. Does he care?
And a different state.
He's Steve Buscemi with the little list, checking names off.
I don't know what I'm doing here with T. Higgins. Apparently T. Higgins is on the Buccaneers. I don't know what here. I think this was the last slide I did. I don't know what I just did. Well, let's pretend that's orange.
He could basically be the same as Amari, but just a brighter orange.
Sure.
I know he's brown outline. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell.
I don't know what the hell you're doing either.
I don't know what I'm doing here either. I swear. I haven't been drinking, I promise.
Yeah,
unless somebody spiked my.
Maybe you should start.
I know. I mean,
yeah. Need to even out.
Tell me something I don't know. It's Amari Cooper and Terry McLaurin for me as well. T. Higgins came back and he looked all right, but it looks like he's still knocking the rust off there. Terry McLaurin and Amari Cooper, the arrows are going up. T. Higgins is sort of like, meh.
Yeah,
I'd say I like the Buccaneers matchup against the Eagles, but that's the wrong colors. So we're gonna. He's still got a good matchup against the Panthers, though. But they may not need to utilize that. And we know for a fact that this offense is going to roll through Jaden Daniels in Washington, and so they're gonna have to figure something else. They're gonna have to get this ball out and just keep trying and trying and trying. Now Arizona's been actually pretty decent against the pass, but they beat up on the Rams, and Jared Goff hasn't looked like Jared Goff yet. So there just wasn't a lot there, and they ran the ball a crap ton last week against Arizona. So there was no passing game to have to defend. So Arizona's stats are a little skewed. Jaden Daniels, he's going to run the ball, but I think that he looks like he's feeling a lot more comfortable back there. So I went McLaurin and Cooper.
All right, we'll move on to the tight ends then.
Big question is,
AJ.
did I get the colors right?
Maybe. AJ, Mark Andrew versus
Shake
the
my
Bills,
magic 8 ball.
or Cole Kmet versus the Rams.
I don't know. Where's the slide?
I don't know. I can't even find my.
Slide.
I got it.
Oh God. And colors are right. Yeah.
This one hurts.
Tell me the answer is Tell me why it's Cole Kmet.
Yeah, I was going to say. Because Mark Andrews has been invisible this entire year. I
Pretty much.
feel like, they just don't want to give him the ball anymore. I don't know if he's still injured or if it's something else or if Lamar just doesn't realize he's on the field. I mean, his snap percentage has dropped drastically. From week 1, it was at 74%, and he had 2 targets. Dropped to 63 in week 2. He had 5 targets, but 4 receptions, 51 yards. Okay. Last week, 33%, 1 target, missed it. I mean, that's he's now like Rashid Shaheed. Used to be really blowed up, and now
crazy what is happening to Mark Andrews.
I don't understand.
When you look at what the Ravens are doing, even when he's on the field, right? Mark Andrews is only running snaps on 35% of his plays last week.
Yeah, I mean, they're
just running the ball. Like it, I think what they're realizing pretty quickly there is that their offensive line is very good, and so they're having to keep these guys in the block, and they can lean on Derrick Henry, and just rely on say Flowers down the field, and Isaiah Likely is a little more athletic at this point. It looks like, and so like he's gonna be their tight end that gets out. It sucks. I spent pretty good draft capital on Mark Andrews. I was hoping he was going to have a bounce back, but yeah, it is Cole Kmet, unfortunately, this week.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought I'd be saying that either. It's it happens fast, folks.
Yeah,
it happens fast, but I mean, the tight end position is brutal, and we'll get to that when we talk about our observations here. I've got some interesting nuggets from the usage article.
The latest news, under Andrews, that was from 3 days ago from Rotoballer, just says that John Harbaugh, has even come out and warned that Andrews' situation might not even really change right now. It's they're basically just going through this tight end rotation, and the snap counts are going to continue to vary. They're just looking at heavy personnel packages.
I like that.
So I don't know. I think Kmet had an awesome game.
Yeah, I mean he's not going to do that again. Like that was a pretty. And Keenan Allen looks like he's coming back too. So like that's just less work going his way. But it's it's not looking pretty. Mr. Wumbo, I used to be scared of the tags D and O for doubtful and out, but now tight ends TE scares me. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Albert's asking, would you guys start Brian Robinson over Etienne this week?
Yeah. Over Etienne.
I don't know. Probably not. I know the reasoning behind that, and it's because Eckler's already rolled out.
Yeah.
I don't think I can go there yet because you at least for a fact the Etienne's got to be involved in the passing game. So he's at least at that. But it is pretty close. Like Etienne has dropped significantly in the rankings compared to where he probably should be. But not yet. Not there yet. So, all right. So that's it for our start sit for week 4. Hopefully you guys got some good info out of all that. Let's jump into our reactions from last week, kind of what we're seeing as the season has gone on. We're hitting that kind of that money week of the season where I think you start seeing the trends start to really take form, right? And we've been kind of hammering the tight ends here for good reason, right? AJ, get this. So week 3, Dallas Goedert was your tight end 13 in fantasy. Now he is
What?
your tight end 1.
Oh, I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. One
That's a big swing.
One crazy week put him up. Now, granted, it's early, so that swing's gonna be happening. Yeah, I got you, Jamie. But here's the other thing, right? So we talk about every year that there's like at least 1 or 2 tight ends at the end of the year, right? That kind of like creep up into like, oh, he'd be like a top 15 flex option or something like that, right? It's got Fish the other year, like Travis Kelce was like the number 6 flex option. Now those are crazy tight end premium scoring leagues, but Goddard, the number 1 tight end after 3 weeks, is number 47 in flex. Not good, Bob. It's not good. Doesn't get much better for the rest of them.
Yeah.
Even to make it even worse, right? So we know how bad the tight ends are. All the top guys that we drafted, the Laportas, the Kelce's, all those guys not living up to their draft hype, right? Only 6 of the current top 12 tight ends were drafted as the top 12 tight ends. Can you name them, by the way?
The top 6 drafted?
So only 6 of the top 12 that were drafted are still in the top 12 for tight ends.
Oof. I mean, Goddard, I would say, is
Goddard's
obviously one.
Yeah, he was like tight end 12.
Kincaid?
Yes, he's 11.
I want to say Pitts, but I don't think he
is. He's number 8.
Okay. Kelsey definitely is not. Andrews definitely is not. Laporta with the injury. Yeah, no.
It's not.
I don't think so. Njoku's not.
We got 3 left. Mike, you got any guesses? Or have you already looked it up?
Who the hell else was drafted?
I'll give you a hint.
Bowers.
Yep.
Freiermuth.
Nope. He's number 13, but he also wasn't drafted as a top 12 guy.
Yeah. Top 12 drafted.
Come on, there's 2 big ones.
McBride.
McBride's one.
No, McBride. Duh. And
number 6.
Kittle.
And this was actually kind of, and he's missed a game.
He's missed one. Yeah.
That's how bad the tight end position. You can miss a game and you're still in the top 12. It's bad. It's bad.
Or you can show up for one and you're top 12.
Yeah, we got guys like Goddard way up, like number 1, right? Kmet is number 3. Isaiah Likely is still number 4, and he's done nothing since week 1. Mike Gesicki. Yeah. We have a Hunter Henry. You know it's bad when Zach Ertz is your number 10 tight end on the season. That's
6 years ago, maybe not, but
2016.
And to make it even worse, Brenton Strange is your number 12 tight end.
Oh.
I bet you there's people listening to the show who didn't even know who Brenton Strange was.
I feel like I had him in the Dynasty 6-pack league last year.
I don't know. Maybe.
And I was like,
But yeah, the tight ends are bad. I don't really have any answers for it. Like, I mean, if you've got the Kelce, do you go out and get like a Brenton Strange for the week and just throw him in there? Like, are you gonna feel good about that? Probably not. Do you?
Same Dynasty 6-pack team. Who were my top 2 tight ends? Andrews and Kelce.
Oh,
it was an automatic start. Tight end, one of the 2 flex spots. Every freaking week. I freaking hate it right now.
I played.
literally put Andrews.
I only know of him because when I was checking the waiver wire week 2, and I saw someone named B Strange, and it made me giggle. I mean, yeah. Sure. It's just an odd year. I mean, like, there's really just no good answer as far as to what to do. Like, teams are just running different packages. I forget who it was, had a great thread on, like, so I wrote this usage article and just threw those stats out there. I didn't go like deep diving into it like Nathan Janke did. Phenomenal breakdown on Twitter if you want to search for him over there, and just all the different like stats he talked about with how teams are utilizing the tight ends and like kind of swapping tight ends in the 12 personnel package too. Like they're not using them the way that we would have expected them to. And that's really hurting all these tight ends and their numbers and like their targets. That's why we're seeing everything down this year for these guys. So, yeah, that's my first take. What you got, man?
Yeah, I think the interesting one we kind of touched on it earlier is just the Jaguars in general, like how bad this offense has been. I
literally want no part.
They're not, they're untrustable. Like everybody on it, and I have Lawrence, I have Etienne, both in Scotfish. I have Lawrence in a handful of places, and I have Etienne in a couple others as well.
Etienne has at least been like serviceable.
He's
but the rest of
flex
them,
worthy at this point.
So much.
But no one. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. has shown some flashes on like 3 plays. It's like, okay, great. Again, Ingram's been injured, so that hasn't helped things. But he was one of the top tight ends drafted, and is not helping you at all, just like the other ones we just rattled off. Bigsby was like the keeper to have, or the handcuff to have because of Etienne. He has done absolutely nothing. And in training camp and the preseason, he looked good. They were talking about this might be his year to finally like come together and show what he can do. Nope, not at all. At least not yet. But that whole team is just absolute atrocious. And again, like I said, I'm starting a flex player over Trevor Lawrence in my super flex spot this week in Scotfish because I don't want anything to do with him. He may not even start, and if it does, he may get benched again, and I just don't want it. And the sad part is you can't even sell high. Like you can't even sell low.
No, he's bottom value at this point. I mean, when you're talking people dropping T-Law for like Jamie did here in the chat, when you're talking people are dropping him for Justin Fields, it's bad, man. It's bad. And sadly enough, one of my my dynasty team has both Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence on it. Thankfully, I drafted Caleb Williams. Not good. So next up, I'm gonna Jamie. I was gonna do this anyway, but even better now. I get to say I did it because you asked. But the Chicago Bears running game. This might actually turn into the Roschon Johnson show. Like people have been calling for it, especially Jamie here for a long time. Big fans out there, a lot of truthers. I really never thought it was going to happen. The Bears just seemingly tried to find every way possible not to use this guy. They were giving Herbert the ball more. They brought in Swift. It just was weird. Roschon Johnson last week saw a massive bump in usage. He got 32 snaps to DeAndre Swift's 44. Khalil Herbert was an afterthought this last week, so don't even worry about him. But 13 carries to 8 3 targets to Roschon Johnson's 4. They both saw an end zone inside the 5-yard line usage. And now we're getting, granted, it could be coach speak. You never know what it really means sometimes, but they're already saying that they want to get Roschon more work, get him mixed in more. So, am I selling the farm for him? I know some people are trying to drop, and like, oh, how much fab should I put on him? I'm gonna put, I'm gonna drop like 30% of my fab for him. Careful, like he's probably not the answer, by the way. So Jamie over here, Roschon could be throwing touchdowns to himself and running for 150 yards at a touchdown. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the trend is going in his favor, that he's going to be getting a lot more work. And last week was his first week active too, so that's got to mean something. You just never know, though, with the Chicago coaching staff. They seem to do weird things with this run game. And even though DeAndre Swift has looked awful, they seem to have their guys and just keep going to him. But, I'd say at least take a chance on Roschon Johnson. I mean, people are, you're hurting at running back all over the place. I guarantee you've got teams that just have nothing. So why not? So,
yeah.
What else you got, man?
I mean, just this is just an observation of, again, more NFL in general, like the parity that I was talking about earlier. Teams that were complete bottom of the barrel are coming out winning games last week. With the Giants taking out the Browns, surprisingly, Colts overcoming and taking out the Bears. Both of them are only 1-2. I feel like the Colts probably were looked at as a better team than that. Vikings being 3-0, and Sam Darnold looking like the next coming of Tom Brady.
QB4 on the season right now.
He has been way out of his mind, and it's working. Justin Jefferson looking awesome. He was somebody I shied away from completely because of Darnold. I was way worried about it, and clearly I was wrong on that. It's still early, so we'll see.
I'm loving it in the 6-pack league. Thanks, guys, for letting me drop to me like 7.
Yeah.
Or 8, actually. I think I got him in 8. Thanks for that.
Yeah. It was late.
I got him at number 8. I was like, yeah.
But yeah, again, like the Broncos, I don't know if we necessarily thought they were going to be good. Rookie quarterback, lots of new personnel, but they came out and totally shut the Bucs down. The Panthers, again, going back to the Flaming Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Raiders looked completely lost, but they somehow still scored 22 points. That kind of just shows, hey, the Panthers still kind of suck, but they didn't suck as bad this week. So I don't know. I mean, just so much parity, so many teams going in different directions from where we saw or where we thought we would see them going. And that's played into fantasy for these players and how they've, either come up in the ranks and played awesome, or we just don't know what to expect. And everybody is struggling and, hitting panic button on a lot of players. Again, Zamir White was a panic button for me. That wasn't quite a rage drop, but it was close because I was just annoyed, with the lacking performance from him, yet seeing, Madison get the end zone work and being successful. So that's kind of my big observation. It's just been a weird season so far.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, it always is. So the last one I want to mention here is, this guy. You mentioned the team already, but it's the Colts, and it's their quarterback, Anthony Richardson. Came out, and everybody's like, "Oh boy, here we go. This is what we all drafted him for, right?" People were taking him like QB3. I saw people take him QB1. I mean, like, look, I almost legit took him over Jalen Hurts and Scott Fitch because I was like, I want that rushing upside. It's not looking good for him right now. I mean, it's really hard. I know that rushing floor is there for him, and that's going to help carry him a little bit in fantasy. That's only going to get you so far. Like that, the rushing floor is a great thing to say and to have when you're at least competent in throwing the football. He's got less than a 50% completion percentage on the season. That's not going to that can't continue. He has more interceptions than passing touchdowns. Like, that can't continue. Teams are going to load the box and dare him to beat them with his arm, and he's not going to be able to do it. And dare I say it, the Colts might go to Joe Flacco sooner rather than later. Like, they have a decent team. Michael Pittman managers are hoping that happens for damn sure because he is a ghost out there with Anthony Richardson back there. It's, even if they do pass the ball, like even if he could complete the ball, 55, 60% of the time, he's throwing the ball 19, 20 times a game. He had that one with 34. That's not going to be normal for them. That's not what they want to do. They want to run this ball with Jonathan Taylor. They want to have Richardson run the ball a lot. So, I don't really know what needs to happen for Richardson to kind of get back. We saw much better last season from him. But something's not working in his favor right now, and he's got to get it together, in my opinion, pretty quick. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. And I was on the waiver wire show. I'm doing that Monday nights now. We're recording it Monday nights with Corey, and we just run through his top 6. And he put Sam Darnold on his waiver wire, and he said he gave me the question. It was pretty funny because I had the same scenario. He goes, would you rather start Sam Darnold or Anthony Richardson? And I legit was like, yeah, I have a fat bit in to get Darnold right now. And I'm starting Darnold over Richardson this week. I just can't do it with him. I need to see it from him before I can like fully trust it right now. It's just bad for Richardson.
Yeah.
He has to agree. He has to go 50 yards and a touchdown to like pull any sort of value back. And that's on the ground. To where because he can't do it with his arm right now. And that's bad. Like, you don't want that from your running quarterback.
So who would you rather roster, Joe Flacco or Aiden O'Connell?
Oh, man. My bobblehead of Joe Flacco over there. And my wife has.
It's like,
tells me I should have Joe Flacco. Hey, what's
up, It's
man?
me.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a real question. We're done.
No, that's a joke. It was a joke.
All right. What's your last one? And then let's call it a night.
I don't think I have anything else, honestly.
How about your rookie of the year debate here that you were having?
Well, I was just saying that Jaden Daniels is looking way better as the pick than Caleb. So
yeah,
that's playing in pretty nice.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that will maintain. So
Chicago's got to get their O-line fixed too. Like, as much as I like Roschon Johnson, I mean, I know it's a big joke, but like when all 5 of your offensive linemen are on the ground and DeAndre Swift lose 7 yards because he has no offensive line to help him block, that's really bad. I can have two. Last question here. I can have 2 out of the 3: Bucky Irving, Zach Charbonnet, or Roschon Johnson. Keep an eye on Kenneth Walker. If he's in, it's Bucky Irving and Roschon. If he's out, it's Charbonnet for sure. And then I'm going to take my chances with Roschon this week because also Bucky Irving's dealing with an injury. We don't even know if he's going to play. So you might be looking for another running back because if Kenneth Walker is back and Bucky Irving's out, good luck.
So. Yeah, that's rough. I agree with that though. I like Sharps if Walker's out again. Answer's always Roschon. Exactly.
Oh, the biggest fan of Roschon Johnson.
Danny Dimes.
All right. And that's it for the show, everybody. I want to thank you for tuning in and watching and or listening. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave us those comments. Become an all-access member of the Fantasy Six Pack. Hit me up on Twitter at F6P_Joe, at Applegarth Algar for AJ. See, I learned it finally. It only took me like 6 years.
Yeah, impressive.
Just ripped that one right out. It was good.
Not expecting that.
I know, right? I actually kind of surprised myself there. So, all right, that is it for the show. Want to thank everybody for listening, and we will see you all next week. Good luck in week 4.